Hey guys, welcome to this upload for you guys today here on Wrestling Fan Open Mic Night. 62 of you have hit that subscribe button. Thank you ever so much for you guys. Keep subscribing. I know my videos here on Open Mic Night as of late have been few and far between because of work commitments and personal commitments. So I hope you can understand that. Plus, I've been in my spare time when I literally want to talk about wrestling. I've been focused on doing my vlog intro for obviously for Love of Wrestling next month, which I am really looking forward to. I've got all my photo shoots booked for that at the moment. I've got a couple of autographs so far. I've got the after party. Obviously, my entrance is already booked. So there's more content coming from you guys very soon over on my vlog channel. Look out for that when I do actually upload that. I've worked a lot of hard work. And if you want to have a sneak peek towards my vlog intro, it's over on my TikTok page, believe it or not. Yes, I posted it on there and see what reaction actually happened. I put it on my story onto Instagram um, before I went to work last night. Obviously, I tagged everyone that I'm going to be meeting. Obviously, you can see on Instagram, you can see who I'm meeting. But I tagged everyone that I'm meeting in that video. Didn't think I'll have a reaction other than Bill Apter. What a legend. You know, we've been friends for 18 years and I cannot wait to meet my mentor. The reason why I'm sitting here talking about professional wrestling, on social media since 2010. And yes, I've not had this channel very long. I think I started this last year, and 62 of you have followed me, and I've built Gavine Arts over 1,000. Um, yeah, so you know that's just how crazy it is. And quite honestly, I enjoy doing my wrestling vlogs, as you know full well. Shame that I've lost a lot of them. Some of them are on Daily Motion. They're all on my link tree. So you see all the fucking links that you want to go to my social medias, go there. You'll find them. Quite honestly, I can't stress you enough. And I did get emotional talking to Bill yesterday. I know we don't talk all the time because obviously time difference and work commitments and personal commitments always get in the way. But that guy has been a mentor for many, many years. People, me OG subscribers would not understand how much it's going to mean to me next month to meet up with Bill. I'm really looking forward to that. And yes, that will be on the vlog as well. So, yeah, it was a bit of a, let's just say, emotional chat, you might want to say, because quite honestly, he supported the boys on tour when we did some of the vlogs that I think is still on my channel. Stephen Hollywood is no longer with us. He passed away, is it 2 or 3 years ago now? I'm losing track on dates, guys. It all rolls into one sometimes. You don't realize how fast it's gone until it's gone, if you know what I mean. And, I'm just getting emotional just thinking about it. I do apologize. But all I can say is to you guys is that my wrestling fandom is still high. I do not watch hardly anything at the moment towards wrestling. I haven't even watched Dynamite yet, and quite honestly, it exploded on my timeline about Tommaso Ciampa that has gone to AEW and he got a massive pop, and I'm glad he's got a massive pop because he deserves it, you know. And I'm glad he's going to be hopefully utilized correctly the way he's been meant to be. You can't be bitter towards him jumping ship, going to the other company. Because end of the day, his contract ran out and he didn't want to renew his contract. I do not blame him because I'm not saying this in a bad light, but DIY in the WWE for me, I want to say this: I've not watched WWE in some time. As people do not know, I've not watched it since SummerSlam because it's a sorry state. But even though still people pay for it, because at the end of the day, WWE is the biggest juggernaut that people are mind fucked. to basically to support, and that's just me being honest, and the amount of times I saw the likes of DIY come out, what a great tag team they are, but the way WWE booked, I can't get my head around how Road Dogg and Triple H, that has been a part of a faction, let alone a tag team in their wrestling career, and they don't know how to put the tag team division. It's so weak over there, and now he's on a solo run. I'm all for this, and I cannot wait to see what AEW do, if I do watch, obviously. What they do with Tommaso Ciampa. Now, there's a lot of people speculating with AJ Styles this coming weekend that the Royal Rumble's happening and he's leaving WWE and going to AEW or TNA. Here's the thing is, if he goes to TNA, it's not going to prove anything. They need to get the balance right, and they're going into that format the way WWE has that format right now. And I feel like when you literally look at that format, is getting they making future stars. Don't get me wrong, but then they're bringing back the old stars. If they bring the likes of AJ Styles, they've already got Kazarian over there, and then they've already got the former WWE guys over there. So that's the problem where it lies. They're relying on too much towards WWE's product. Yet again, this just feels how it is. Like they got Cora Jade and Sonya Deville. I don't know what she's classed as in TNA. I think that's bold move to do because the, this is why I say TNA's in a mess once again, right? I got in TNA fair enough back in the day, but this is I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on the likes of Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Sanjay Dutt, the X Division. When it was thriving, and then you got Liam Slater, from here in the United Kingdom nowadays. And I feel like it's hard done by certain wrestlers that actually, I would say this, they're going backwards to what they used to be doing. They're relying on too much of the WWE names. Here's the thing is where it lies, but they still can't draw in the numbers, even though if you're that obsessed with ratings, I'll get into that. Obviously, what I'm on about is about the numbers. People are that obsessed with numbers, because at the end of the day, TNA gets more ratings. You don't shit all over that like you used to because of the working relationship, the mindfuck that WWE is giving you. I don't care about ratings because it doesn't affect me because I'm here in the United Kingdom. I don't care if tickets don't sell well because I focus what goes off in the ring. End of the day, support your local independent wrestling. Because end of the day, I've got two independent shows this year so far that I'm going to. I'm going to Rev Pro in Wembley. Yeah, fair enough. It's Wembley, but it's Rev Pro. It's British wrestling. I'm hoping I get to meet the likes of Liam Slater. Yes, I missed the opportunity only within the last few years when Wrestle Carnival was in my city because obviously working at the time. I couldn't hardly get time off because we were that short staffed. Because at the end of the day, I respect my roots where my is, and obviously whilst I'm in London, I might as well with my friend Paddy, obviously, and that's why I did a Wrestling Eve last year. I'm hoping if Dan Reed and Will Ospreay do a show before or some point over that weekend, if it doesn't clash with the likes of AEW or Rev Pro, I'm hoping me and Paddy will go. I'm hoping if there's Cabaret Riot, I think is called. I'm looking into going them if they do a show on the Friday as we arrive. You know, because end of the day, we want to bring you obviously yes on our vlogs, but yes to promote British wrestling. And obviously, I'm going Future Shock at the after party for Love of Wrestling. I'm looking forward to that. That looks a stacked card. But that's what I mean. It's like what I'm getting at is you look at the way TNA is at the moment. They're going backwards. They get these big names. Then as soon as their contract's nearly up, WWE will snap them up. You look at Jordan Grace. Joe Henry from Scotland. He's now on NXT, but now he's going back to. I think he's got like a dual contract. It seems because he's going back to help TNA out, which is kind of weird. Because you look at Cora Jade and Sonya Deville, they've gone to the TNA. The weird thing is, like over the years that I've noticed with TNA, even though when I was watching it, the former WWE names that are going through the ranks, or ECW back in the day in the Asylum days, or the early days of Impact Wrestling, you it's always that revolving door with the former WWE guys, but they don't have that many big names because it. I feel like it will benefit WWE when they actually take the big names off, like Liam Slater. You could say that he had visa issues, but the problem where it lies when it comes to the certain thing, it may be legit or not. But you should have put him on the European tour. Yeah, fair enough, but I feel like you shouldn't have done that. I feel like if he's got visa issues, you don't need to rub salt in the wounds and go, "Oh yeah, we'll take him off your premiere show on AMC." That's how it came across to me. But that's the problem where it lies. That's why I say WWE's in a sorry state at the moment in 2026 because yes, they're relying on that money to roll in. They're relying on the moments, and it's really frustrating when I see the likes of AJ Styles being treated like that way when you've got a clinic of a match that's already going off, and just say this past Monday Night Raw, you had CM Punk versus AJ Styles. You had Shinsuke Nakamura. You fucking had Finn Balor in the mix. If you're not making people believe that you've got a triple threat some way or form, it, there's no point of putting Finn Balor in the mix. Because it doesn't make any sense. And that's just me being honest. And with the likes of AJ Styles, him hanging up his boots, or if he's going to AEW or is going to Impact Wrestling, you just don't know because how sorry state the WWE is because they don't know how to make future stars. You know, and it's worrying because when you think about it, even though they apparently knew the day that he wanted to retire for a while, because they didn't want to overshadow John Cena with this, that's why they didn't do like a retirement storyline for AJ Styles. They're just now rushing it in the last few weeks, if not, well, the last few weeks, in fact. And that's sad to see because AJ Styles is one of the best in the world that's ever been in this game, that field, that professional wrestling that we love. That's why I feel like it's just a sorry state. Because end of the day, like I was mentioning earlier on, tag team wrestling is a dying art form in the likes of WWE. I don't know why tag teams want to sign or work for the WWE because they won't be utilized. Yes, they get paid money, but they will not be getting utilized that much. That's why I say WWE is in a sorry state. Because you look at the current champions, no disrespect to Drew McIntyre. Yeah, he's worked hard to get where he is to be that champion. But the people get bored of him soon. It's like Kit Wilson keeps coming on my feed towards Facebook, towards, is this what the world comes to? Cheesy gimmicks once again? Because at the end of the day, WWE fans have been programmed for looking at cheesy gimmicks. Hey, look at the Golden Era, look at the Attitude Era. Even Ruthless Aggression Era, there were some cheesy gimmicks through that. And that's why WWE thrived back in the day. The larger than life characters. Now you got a fucking Brit that's bloody being reborn, you might want to say, and rehashed with a cheesy fucking gimmick. And is it going to last? Is it going to last as long as, like, just say some of the gimmicks that we've actually had over the years, the likes of Cody, the Nightmare, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, or is it going to be the likes of CM Punk, or is it going to be like fucking Seth Rollins? No, it's going to be one of those filler moments as much as Fandango was, as much as Brodus Clay was, as much as Adam Rose with his Rosebuds. You know, it's going to be so short lived, and people say, yeah, he's over as fuck. You can may say he's over as fuck, but no disrespect to Kit Williams. I do respect him for what he's done in Pretty Deadly, you know, when I was watching the product. But I can't see that gimmick lasting more than 6 months because this is how fickle sometimes WWE fans, and this is not me just disrespecting you, this is me being honest. Because you get bored so quick, you want everything now, but when WWE latch on it too late, you don't like it. And yet, you still watch the product, so how are you not liking it if you are still watching the product? If you get what I mean. It just doesn't work with me this day and age. You know, it's like when I was mentioning tag team wrestling, and I'm like, yes, I'm going back and forth on this video. It's very hard to get over as a tag team this day and age when it comes to the likes of WWE because it's the way WWE utilizing you as a tag team wrestler. You know, I dread to think what now Johnny Gargano or Candice LeRae is going to do in the likes of WWE because there's no Tommaso Ciampa there no more. You know, DIY was actually a phenomenal tag team, if not one of the best tag teams. They've actually made themselves, made it work in the likes of NXT, but then when it went to the main roster, it did not work. You know, because it's the way WWE booked it. And that's just me being honest. Looks like I'm drinking for a fucking battery, isn't it? It's juice, by the way. I'm recycling a can. Can't be asked to get a glass. But that's what I mean. It's just a headache that to think one of the best tag teams they've actually had. The thing is with tag team wrestling, I feel like you're limited to what you can do. You know, and I'm grateful to see the likes of Tommaso Ciampa going there. I'm liking the Radicals, what they're actually going to go to do in AEW now because they made themselves a house. That's the best thing about it was they made themselves a household name in TNA that people were talking about. Then they went to two of them, I think, and then one got released. Then he brought them back, and they didn't do much with them when they went to the likes of NXT. Now, three of the four members, well, was originally all four members. Then one's released his contract because of obviously personal reasons, which you got to understand that. Obviously, whatever's actually happened. But three of the four have literally joined AEW, and I'm intrigued to see what they actually do for AEW. You know, you can't criticize AEW for signing every Tom, Dick, and Harry because at the end of the day, WWE have been doing that for years. You know, and sometimes they make themselves a household name, sometimes they don't make themselves a household name. End of the day, wrestling's wrestling, and wrestling's a business, and that wrestler has built up their name and their history to make themselves a household name. I'm really intrigued to see what actually materializes going forward, you know, for the likes of AEW in 2026. I know it was a really good year. The one thing I never got, right, to say all these websites and that lot gave awards to AEW, then WWE fans latched on and say, how can it be? And all this lot. WWE's great and all this lot, but these are the same people that bashed WWE's product last year. So that's what I don't get as well. If you are bashing the product, but you're still watching the product, but you praise the product because another company's won awards, you know, that just proves how fickle the world can be. And this is just fucking weird. I know it's a weird moment to be a wrestling fan in 2026. You know, witnessing this from like last year, end of last year. You know, it's like with the rumors and speculations that all because Tony Khan's not put ticket sales on yet for the likes of as well for All In at Wembley, it doesn't mean that because there's speculating that the Wembley want to do deals with WWE and all this lot. And I'm like, fuck off. Don't start that shit, because end of the day, I know full well that the Khan family's got so many shares in the likes of Wembley. They put blockers on WWE trying to get it. Because end of the day, Money in the Bank, when it was the O2, they tried to get Wembley Stadium. I found out this. They tried to get Wembley Stadium, but the Khan family blocked it happening, and that's why. And you know, people just gotta sit back and wait. You know, because at the end of the day, I know this sounds daft, but I was brought up in the 80s, right? And I was used to long storylines and less pay per views. Yes, there were pay per views back then, but they were on Sky Movies and so on like that. We had the big four, if we were lucky, and they knew how to build it back then. And yet, you've got lesser space. I feel like with WWE having too many pay per views, I feel like they don't know how to build a good story. You've done fair enough, Cody. You did great, but then and then people got bored of him so quick. You know, it's just like I'm going over a lot of things. I know, but still, WWE is just that much in a sorry state right now. It's boring, it's flat. That's why I feel like I've not thought, oh yeah, I'll stick on WWE and see what they actually noticed. And the one thing that really baffles me, where I've actually seen people raging about what they're unveiling on WWE Unreal, and yet you're still watching the product. You are, the catch is, I was classed as a hater when that stuff was happening, but you state everything what I've stated in my TikTok videos back when it was happening. So what's the fucking difference? It just baffles me. It baffles me being a wrestling fan in 2026 that people latch on to it too late, but you're raging how much they're unveiling, how much you are frustrated with the product. But I was talking about it when it was relevant, when it was a storyline that was happening. So, it's just end of the day, I'm gonna say this. Enjoy what you want to watch. Hate it, love it, end of the day, wrestling's wrestling. So I'll break from reality. Or wrestling's a family, as I've dubbed it for many, many years. But I just gotta say to you guys is thank you ever so much for tuning in. I'm hoping to do more videos soon. Obviously I've got Full of Wrestling next month. That vlog will be on my vlog channel, obviously. I'm hoping, because on the Monday I hope I get back a reasonable time so I can edit that. Like the way I did for AEW Holiday Bash. Because I tell you one thing, that knocked me for six. You know, I spent a lot of time on that. I'm glad my boss has switched my shift, not from the open, because obviously to the close. Because if they didn't, I would have been exhausted. Because I took till 4 o'clock in the morning to edit that, and then basically finalize it, and then basically, I think I get back at a reasonable time. I can't remember what time I've booked my train, but it's headache going because obviously there's three changes I've got to do. I've got to go Crewe, from Nottingham to Crewe, then from Crewe to Stockport, and then Stockport to Manchester. Because Piccadilly, I think, is closed that weekend for maintenance, so that's going to be fun. So yeah, guys, I'll catch you on the next upload. But all I can say is, amazing to see Tommaso Ciampa. Hopefully he thrives and shows what the world he can do. At least one thing with AEW fans, they do appreciate what's given to them. And I'm intrigued to see what actually happens to AJ Styles after Saturday. That's just me being honest. Even though I don't watch the product. But I feel like when they've They should have, if they had more time and so on with this so-called storyline that's going off. I feel like they should have fucking done more PLE matches for him. You know, because people are focusing on Chris Jericho, hopefully going to WWE as well. That's just my thoughts and opinions. Tell me yours. And as well, even though I don't watch the product, I've got no clue who's going to win the Rumble or the Women's Rumble. And that's just me being honest.